Hello and welcome to another episode of the Empowering Leaders podcast. At Aleda, we are passionate about inspiring connections and creating a world of collaboration. Our signature program, Aleda Connect, curates groups of 5 to 6 leaders from diverse backgrounds in sport, industry, social venture and the arts who come together to learn, to connect and to collaborate.
It's been amazing. Here you are on this Zoom call, feeling within the first session like you intimately know these people and care for them. And then all of a sudden realizing that even though you're in totally different industries, we're all going through the same thing, or we've been through it and we can help each other, or there's just this hurdle that you can't see past. And then you share it with the group and there's 5 answers in 40 minutes and you think, I have not slept for 2 weeks thinking about that. Like, how is this possible?
So you're listening to stories and the breadcrumbs of what makes success, and I constantly get something out of these Zoom calls and catch-ups because we're all living the same stuff, aren't we?
Extraordinary people with extraordinary experience. What happens there is magical.
The Empowering Leaders podcast is proudly brought to you by Victoria University, where cutting-edge sports and exercise science facilities like heat chambers, performance labs, and altitude environments mean VU is ranked 7th in the world for sports science. VU, uniquely you. As always, a big thank you to Jason Nicholas and his team at Temper Bedding, a mattress like no other. If you enjoy listening to the Empowering Leaders podcast, be sure to subscribe, and please, if you have a moment, we would love you to leave a review so we can reach more listeners and empower more leaders. Hi, I'm Luke Darcy. Welcome to the Empowering Leaders podcast. Today's guest is one of Australia's most inspiring athletes, Saya Sakakibara, Olympic gold medalist at the Paris Olympic Games in 2024 in BMX racing, and author of Just Go, Turning Fear into a Superpower. Saya's story is nothing short of extraordinary. After watching her brother Kai, himself a world-class BMX rider, suffer a life-changing crash in 2020, Saya faced her own fears head-on and rose to become an Olympic champion. As Saya said herself, I'm scared of crashing, but I love the feeling of pushing past that and getting to the other side and feeling like, yes, I could do it, and I've won the battle against myself. This is a story of great courage, focus, and a mindset that we can all learn from. Saya, it's great to see you. Thanks for spending some time.
Thanks for the intro, Luke. Full disclosure about my sunnies, I just have some eye problems going on, so we don't want to see that. So that's why I've got the sunnies. But yeah, thanks so much for having me on.
Well, you look like a rock star on your worst day, Saya, so you can wear sunnies anytime, and appreciate you taking the time. Can I go perhaps to the start for all of us, and the heartbreak at what happened to Kai, and having the devastating injury that obviously was an end to his BMX racing. Few could imagine the courage it would take for you to keep racing after that. How did you find that strength to get back to the start line?
Well, yeah, back then it was, I think like hindsight is a beautiful thing, and just being able to kind of compartmentalize like what actually happened, because yeah, it was such a weird time. I think that having a life-changing event happen to you, you don't come to terms with it straight away. You're kind of in this like limbo mode of just putting one foot in front of the other and not really understanding the whole situation. And you might think that I would be like very, very scared of racing again and things like that. But it was weird that I didn't really feel that. I was more thinking, I more had this inner drive of wanting to continue for the both of us, for both Kai and I, where, I just came up with this huge feeling of responsibility, and I took ownership of what I was going to do and where I was heading. So, yeah, it was only later down the track, after having some crashes on my own, where I started to think like, oh, maybe, I am a bit scared. That it did plant that seed of doubt for sure.
I suppose, say, fast tracking to Paris, and Kai's watching on, your parents are watching on, all of us that know your story, you had your own crashes prior to that, as you said, and I think all of us, the heart rate was through the roof watching you at that stage. What was going through your mind, wanting to live that dream, the fear and the excitement of winning a gold?
It's so much going on for sure. And, I had that past experience in Tokyo, having basically just gotten that first Olympics out of the way. And I kind of knew what to expect and how exciting it can all be and how many distractions there could be at an Olympic Games. So I knew that coming in. So I knew that I had to be super diligent in my mental preparation. So making sure that I'm not going to be distracted, because I was going there with just one goal of winning and crossing that finish line first. And you know what, that was the goal, but I also wanted to walk away feeling like I didn't leave anything on the table. Walking away from Tokyo feeling like, I could have done more, like that feeling of like, I trained so hard, but I got in my own way. That was the worst feeling ever. So I came into it feeling like I'm going to walk away knowing that I did my best. I'm going to feel proud. I'm going to have a smile on my face. And it was a decision. It was a decision that I was going to do that. And there was no other option. So I think that kind of clear, laser focused allowed me to really block out all the distractions and ultimately cross that finish line first.
And it all sounds sort of kind of natural when you're sitting here having a chat about it now, but I think of the courage to get back on the line and manage that fear, but still perform better than anyone else in the world at your chosen sport. Can you share how you're able to find that within yourself?
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a journey. It was such a journey. And I wish there was a handbook. And that's what I was definitely longing for when I was thinking about, wanting to get this win of this gold medal, wanting to give these Olympics another crack. I was like, where's the handbook of overcoming fear? And you bet I went on every podcast. I listened to every podcast I could find. Read all the books, listened to interviews of other athletes, and I kind of just like try to pick as much as I can through them. And what was instrumental in my mental performance was finding my mental performance coach called Stuart up in Brisbane, and he helped me basically rewire how my brain works and rewire my beliefs. So the way I see it is that as we go through life, we only use 5% of our brain and the rest of it is subconscious, which is crazy. So it's like, rather than focusing on the 5%, let's focus on the 95%. And the 95% is made up of values, beliefs, but that is made up through memories. So it's like, okay, I had memories and experiences of crashing and being really scared of racing. So let's try to basically reprogram it. Let's put in new memories. So it was visualizations. So visualizing me overcoming my fear, visualizing me on the top of the podium. So then if I was on the top of the podium, that meant that I've overcome the fear. It was like a reverse engineering, and it was about being disciplined in inputting those memories in quote unquote, that I visualized, and then it slowly kind of rewired it to be like, oh, maybe I can do this. Like maybe it's not so hard. Maybe this fear isn't as big as I think. And that, along with those actions of doing those little wins throughout the day in training, seeing that it's windy or trying a new jump in racing or whatever it is, it's like that feeling of discomfort and then overcoming it was another memory or another experience that I could kind of input into the subconscious to be like, yeah, no, I can do this. I'm rewiring my brain from being so self-critical, low confidence, to be like, no, I am a competent BMX racer. I'm confident and I can trust myself.
It's a brilliant way you've described that, Saya. I was thinking of Steve Hooker, I interviewed for this podcast, who was an Olympic gold medalist in the pole vault, and he could tell you in great detail how he'd visualized that jump thousands of times, and when it came to do it, he literally won it and done it 1,000 times, and the pressure was reduced. For people listening that aren't ever going to win Olympic gold, have you been able to use that same visualization to the effect in other parts of your life?
Yes, no, I can totally relate to that pole vaulter. I visualized that gold medal moment hundreds of times. And yeah, definitely when I was up there, I didn't feel the pressure because I was like, I know what's going to happen. So it's like magical the way that your brain works. And having gone through that experience, I was like, yeah, I can do this with other parts of my life. And winning a gold medal came with a lot of opportunities to speak in front of an audience. And for me, I've had a fear of public speaking along with a lot of people that might be listening to this podcast. But I had to do it. I had to do it, and I wanted to share my story. But every time I would go up there, my heart would race. I'll be shaking and I would overthink everything. So I definitely use that visualization technique and trying to rewire my brain to convince myself that I'm a good speaker. I'm a confident speaker. I can trust myself. And yeah, I'm still working on it. It's still very hard.
You said a moment ago there was no handbook, but you've just written a handbook called Just Go, and that's become synonymous with you, that expression. What does Just Go mean to you?
Well, a few things for sure. Just Go ended up being a mantra that I always went back to. So even it was something that I really used in Paris. Basically my self-talk of like just go. I had another word in there, just effing go, but we don't talk about that. I had that in there. So it's basically for me, just effing go or just go. It's like leave everything behind. It doesn't matter what distractions there are. It doesn't matter what the past experiences were. It doesn't matter who's next to you. It doesn't matter if you're doubting your abilities or whatever it is. It just go. Like there's no thinking anymore at an Olympic Games. It's just all instinct. You can't gain anything. Like you're there with what you've got. So you just have to let yourself do what you got. And that was basically the mantra of like, just forget everything, focus on the task, just go. And that's all I needed to do. Like I didn't need to think about reacting as fast as I can. It wasn't about, doing jumps, like do X, Y, Z with my arms or legs. It was just about just go and my body will take over.
I love an insight into your mindset. And you look at Olympic level, the margins are so thin. Your competitors are equally as physically talented. Can you see that within yourself? Is it the mindset that separates really good from the truly great in your world?
100%. I think that it's definitely 50-50 in terms of like physical preparation and mental preparation. They're equally as important. And I think if you're mentally prepared, you are able to be consistent, and consistency is everything in BMX. So you have to be able to perform, whether it's your semi-final or final, whether it's your round one, whatever it is, you have to be consistently doing the best that you can. And so much of BMX comes down to that start reaction. Like if you nail your start and get out in front, then you have pretty much won the race, because it's only 30 to 40 seconds. There are opportunities to pass, but if you get out in front within that first 2.5 seconds and down the hill, you've pretty much won the race. So if you are not mentally prepared, if you're inconsistent with your start and things like that, yeah, that's going to set you behind of everyone else.
Reading a grab, say, from Michael Jordan this week, and he was talking about the Australian #1 draft pick, Ben Simmons, who incredible athlete, 6'10", a Jordan-like athlete. And what I read from Jordan, I'm assuming it was accurate. He was saying, let my mind spend some time in that body and I can do it all again, probably even better. Does that relate to you? Is that it is the ones who have got this incredible inner belief and find a way that become world champions and truly great?
Yeah, it's totally with the mindset, which I didn't really believe until what I went through. And I never really thought of myself of having that mindset. And I used to read books by about Michael Jordan. I read Relentless by Tim Grover. I always used to think, I don't think like Michael Jordan. Like, I don't have this relentless energy. I don't have this like relentless drive to win at all costs. And I used to be like, maybe I'm not someone like that. Maybe I'm not a champion. Maybe I will never be one. But the thing is, like, what I went through, I realized that it's trainable, that you can train and be disciplined in your mindset and the way that you think, that you can change it the way that you want. So maybe I don't think like Michael Jordan, but I've was able to train it in a way that it's more true to me, that gets the best out of me, that gets me wanting to win in my own way. So I was like, this is cool. It's just like you can train your bicep, just like you can train my legs to go fast on a BMX bike. You can train your mind in getting it to propel you forward and getting that drive to win.
Which is an incredible bit of wisdom to understand at just 26 years of age as you are, and you've shown this incredible level of inner strength and self-awareness that some people in their lifetime never get to. Do you feel like at this stage of your life that's a superpower that's going to stand you in good stead?
I hope so. And that's why I'm so grateful for the hardship that I went through, the challenges that faced my way. I'm so grateful for the fear that I felt, and I'm grateful for the fact that maybe I am more susceptible to fear. Maybe, I think there's the spectrum of how much people experience fear. And for me, I feel like I'm on the very high end of experiencing a lot of fear, but I'm grateful for that because it's allowed me to push myself through these experiences and learn so many strategies. And I know there's so many people on my end of the scale thinking and believing the same things that I was believing, and that's just who they are. It's like our anxiety, and like we kind of attach our identity to the way that we think, but it's actually so changeable, and we can train it the way that we want. That's actually useful in our lives. So that's why I'm just so grateful for it, and I'm grateful that I got this opportunity to write a book about it. It's not necessarily a handbook, but it has very, sprinkled in a lot of wisdom in there, some lessons and things, my experience of how I changed my way of thinking. And I think I hope that it's going to help a lot of people too.
Well, talking about the book, Saya, Just Go, what do you hope it inspires in the next generation?
Well, so the thing is, when I was writing the book, I actually sent one of my first drafts to a relative over in England, and who reads a lot of books. And she gave me this incredible piece of advice, and it was, who's your audience? And I was like, okay, I didn't really have that audience in mind. I didn't have that person in mind. And as I was refining the draft, I always just had this girl who may be like early 20s, late teens, wanting to get something good out of life, knows that she has potential, but really scared. And as I was writing, I realized that I was writing to my younger self, and I was writing to validate her feelings of going through that hardship of, the heartbreak, the disappointment, feeling lost, having no purpose, finding herself, and then also telling her like what I did to get out of it. And I realized that I'm so sure that there'll be so many girls and boys going through the same thing that I did. So I just hope that I can give them hope that what you're going through is normal. Even an Olympic gold medalist goes through that, and you can get to the other side and win a gold medal in your life.
We all are born different. As we grow, the experiences we have develop into outlooks uniquely our own, charting our life's course. No one sees an idea, opinion, or opportunity like you. And no one sees you like VU. Victoria University. Uniquely you.
At Aleda, our signature program, Aleda Connect, is something we're really passionate and proud of. We bring together groups of 5 to 6 people around the globe from diverse backgrounds, sport, industry, social venture and the arts, who come together to learn, to connect and to collaborate.
The thing that I've loved about it is not just the meetings that we have with our group, it's the thinking that you do for days and days afterwards. Someone says something and it sparks a thought, and I found that I would go back and look at things that I was doing in a different light. Within my sport and within women's sport, I'm just someone who I try to lead by keeping people talking about the issues. There's times when I think the person I'm trying to convince is not listening to me. It actually got me thinking about, okay, this is how I need to address my communication with them. So it was so valuable, and the little group that we've got is great, and I'm really looking forward to sort of continuing to connect with them into the future because we're all so very different. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed it.
So does the word Olympic gold medalist that's attached to you for life now, has it changed your life the way you thought it would?
It did. It really did. And I wanted it to change my life for sure. Like, it was something that I've always wanted. And for so long, before even Kai's accident, we were this brother-sister duo, and we had the Sakakibara brand. We got our custom kit made up, and we had our own tent set up, and it was really cool. And we had this dream of making Sakakibara a household name. And I feel like through what we've been through as brother and sister, I feel like we have. And slowly and surely, they're just trickled into people's minds. And if whoever was watching the Olympics was able to see us and then hear the name Sakakibara. So yeah, it has really truly changed my life, and having the opportunity to talk in front of an audience, share my story, be on Empowered Leaders podcast with Luke, and yeah, it's just incredible.
Yeah, you've inspired so many people, Saya, and I love that, for young girls and young boys who are probably facing challenges that our generation don't really understand. It's an anxious generation, and lots of challenges that the generation before didn't have to. And I'm sure your story is going to thrive and inspire so many of them. We love this idea, Saya, that to lead someone else, you've got to lead yourself first. Is there things that you do every day to fill your own cup up to make sure you can beat your best?
Yeah, I love that saying. It really is true because, yeah, I always think about, after the gold medal, I was invited to go to this Women of the Year Awards by Maria Claire, and I won the Champion of the Year award, which was a huge honor. But they were always celebrating, game industry leaders and people who are making huge leaps in environment and their community. And as I was watching them getting their awards one by one, I realized that they all give so much. They are getting this award because of their impact on society and how every single day they are, thinking about other people and changing other people's lives. And so it started to make me think, what do I got to give? I feel like what I've been doing up until this point is so selfish. I've been thinking about myself and looking after my health and making sure that I have everything that I need in order for me to win. And then, yeah, it really made me think of, am I really selfish of what I've done? But I realized that maybe what I have to give to others is by me being selfish, that I can show and pave the way for other people to believe in themselves. And maybe it's not that they go on and be selfish themselves to go the athlete route, but maybe it's they are being selfish themselves in order to get to where they want to be, in order to help others and whatever like that. So yeah, I think there is that weird balance of selfish and selfless. If you're always being selfless, I think that you're not going to be able to give as much as if you were selfish first. So yeah, I guess what I'm doing now is, I'm continuing to be an athlete. I'm continuing to put myself first in order to get the best out of myself in everyday training, in order to win races, and in order to have the energy to talk to an audience and share my story and how I've been able to change my life and hopefully get other people to inspire them to change their lives too.
Great self-awareness. The athlete path is inherently selfish because you have to be you don't win Olympic gold without prioritizing everything you need to be your best. But I love that you're already at 26 thinking about your contribution, and it's already there, isn't it? Showing this pathway of overcoming fear and being able to find a way with the great challenges you've had. So is there one thing that's always worked for you and your success that you would never change?
Asking for help, for sure. I've always known that I don't think I've ever been stubborn to be like, I can do it myself. So I've always been someone who asked for help. I relied on Kai growing up for help and encouragement of trying a new jump, of I've asked for his wisdom in racing, and I've always relied on my coaches, and I've always relied on my team to get myself in the best position possible. And I thought that maybe that wasn't leadership, but I really think that it is. Like, you do need people around you. You do need, if you're doing that yourself, you're not leading anyone. So having a great team around me has been instrumental to get me where I am today. And that's something that I'll never change, for sure. And maybe the team evolves. You'll work with different people, but I think ultimately you can't do it yourself. You need your team around you, and you need to lead your team to get us all working together towards a common goal.
So we see people consistently curious who achieve great success. They're always going down different rabbit holes to explore ways to get better. Do you carve out time to be curious?
100%. 100%. And I think that that's part of being an athlete who's trying to get the best out of themselves. You know, I feel like up until this point, I've done what I needed to get done in my training and my racing to win. But I feel like I haven't explored absolutely everything, which is so exciting. To know that I've come this far, knowing that I have more to give, I think it's really important to keep exploring, be curious, try different methods, talk to different people, work with different people. And I think that makes it much more enjoyable. It's not all about winning. It's about exploring what you can do as a human, as an athlete. You know, we get to do this crazy thing that is sport that allows us to explore all of human capacity, experiencing human emotions of extreme disappointment to extreme happiness and everything in between. And I feel like we can do that physically as well. So yeah, it's not just about winning. It's really about experiencing what we get to experience in this lifetime.
So you shared the fear of public speaking, which is one of the most common in the world, and how you've overcome that. And you're an author now. You're incredibly articulate at getting your message across. Have you worked on your communication? Have you found a mantra about how you get your message out?
It's still hard. I've worked on it. I've hired a speaking coach. I worked with a speaking coach. She was absolutely incredible in teaching me a lot of different strategies, but also getting over that belief that I'm not a good speaker, and trusting myself and not having to memorize a word for word and answers of questions that I might be asked. So it's always a journey, and I feel like I'm so grateful that I get this opportunity to work on my public speaking in order to have an audience to talk to. And as much as it really, like, I was dreading it at the start, I'm starting to really enjoy it now, because I know the impact it can have, and having that feedback of like, oh, these things that you said resonated with me, and this is how I'm going to apply it in my own life. And that's just like so rewarding. That's just the most rewarding thing about public speaking. And I think that's why I need to keep doing it, even though sometimes it's not fun.
Well, you're absolutely nailing it. And I can't imagine a hurdle put in front of you that you wouldn't find a way to jump over. And, I love at such a young age, 26, to already be able to apply that to whatever comes. It's a great gift that you're able to pass on and share for people that are still working their way through it. Say, who's been the greatest leader in your life?
Oh, definitely Kai. He's been instrumental in everything that I do. He was an incredible leader because he had this crazy drive from such a young age to work really hard. As much as like he was very selfish in the way that he wanted to get the best out of himself, he also looked at me, the little sister, trying to find her way in the world, also copying everything he was doing. But he wanted to really help me, and he wanted to show me what is possible, and he wanted to lead me in the way that I never had someone in my life doing that. So it's incredible what he was able to get out of me. I never trusted anyone else's judgment as much as I trusted his. And the fact that he did it out of just love was just incredible. And I'm so grateful that I had an incredible leader like him.
It's an amazing story. The Sakakibara, as you said, one day the dream that we would all get to know Kai and your story, and we are now, and his impact on you, and the fact that you've been able to go on and achieve what you have is it's just exceptional and remarkable. I love hearing about it and talking about it more and more. So we're a bit obsessed with this idea of collaboration, that we're better when we have more people that work with us. Has there been someone, whether it's in your sport, in BMX, or outside of that, one of your other passions, you've thought, God, I'd love to collaborate with a particular person on one of your passions? Is there a name that springs to mind?
Oh, great question. That's really hard. That's a very hard question. One thing that actually does spring to mind is my speaking coach. Her name is Annalise McCarthy, and she has built this incredible company of her. She goes by the name of her speaking coach, her company, and her passion is giving women the trust or the tools to gain their communication skills, not just on speaking on stage in an audience, but in a workplace or boardroom, to have the confidence to speak out and share their ideas. And I think what I've learned from her was just incredible. And I think that if I could collaborate with her and teach young girls how to communicate well, be able to express themselves and their personal brand to the media and athletes, for example. So being able to give the tools to athletes, young athletes coming up, to show them, how to express their story, get more people on board, and build their personal brand. I feel like that's something I am passionate about, and I feel like that's something I worked on over the years, and it has really truly changed my life, because without having done that groundwork, I don't think having this gold medal would have changed my life in the way that it did. I had to do the years of groundwork of getting our names on TV, doing all the local news things, going on to podcasts and working on our social media. And one thing I didn't do was working on my communication skills. So imagine if I had all those things done and I was ready to take on the world once I got that gold medal. As much as you want to, fall in love with the person, if they can't articulate their story well, if they can't express their ideas well, it's a missed opportunity. So I really want to spread that message. And I think, that is something I would like to do in the future.
What a beautiful note to finish on, isn't it? To empower the next generation to be able to tell their story in whatever capacity, as you said, however you show up in your work environment or home. It's another great legacy of yours. Just Go, turning fear into superpower is another great legacy of yours. You're inspiring so many people. I really appreciate your time. Feels like it's just getting started, that the next chapters are going to be just as exciting, and congratulations on everything you've done. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, Luke. It was incredible. I really enjoyed the chat.